This week, the Satanic Temple had a massive legal victory that is worth talking about, especially if you don't know this story. So I'm going to try to back up for a second before I get to the good news. And this does end with good news. I want to share with you this poster because this is what the Satanic Temple was trying to do in the Saucon Valley School District. Was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year. They wanted to start after school Satan Club at the Saucon Valley Middle School in Pennsylvania. And they said this in February. They said they wanted to hold meetings. And the only reason, this is important, the only reason they wanted to start this after school Satan Club is because Christians in the community had started a good news club, basically to try to indoctrinate kids in Christianity. So the Satanists came along and said, all right, well, we want to play by the same rules. We want to start a club too. And if you look at this poster, and I know it's hard to read the tiny font, but what it says is, think about what they do here. It's at the bottom over Saucon Valley Middle School. Science projects, community service projects, puzzles and games, nature activities, not mature activities, nature activities, arts and crafts, snacks. They are not interested in proselytizing Satanism because, of course, as I'm sure you all know, the Satanic Temple does not believe in a literal Satan or satanic beliefs or Satanism or anything. These ass clubs are basically, they are altruistic, humanitarian clubs, science clubs. They're trying to help kids out. They are not interested in indoctrination. Their actual description says they focus on free inquiry and rationalism, the scientific basis for which we know what we know about the world around us. It's like a science club with a devilish twist. So they had these posters. They were ready to start their club. But in February, even after the school board approved their use of the space in the middle school, and the way these clubs work in the middle school is maybe a parent is interested in starting the group. They get permission from the school board, they get the space, and then it's voluntary, of course. But what happened in February is that after this was approved and everyone knew about it, someone called the district and left a voicemail threatening to cause harm if Satanists were allowed to meet there. That's horrible. And district officials were really worried, so they canceled all after-school activities that afternoon, and then they canceled school and activities the next day. That's how disruptive this threat was. And the superintendent contacted police. But here's where it took a really messed up turn. After they realized we don't think this is a legit threat or anything like that, what happened is that the school district blamed that caller and that threat on the Satanic Temple. Look at this headline. Saucon schools shut down, blamed on Satan Club related threats, schools to reopen Thursday. Okay, that part's fine. They blamed it on the threat. I'm trying to scroll down here to see if I can find the thing. I apologize. I thought I had this up there. But basically, as this was all happening, yes, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Let me share this with you instead. This is what happened. With chaos, threat that canceled classes, Saucon Valley bars the after-school Satan Club. The school district basically punished the Satanic Temple for what some deranged anonymous dude did on a phone and threatened the school. So what did they do? The superintendent said the district would review the Satan Club's use of the facility, which is weird because the Satanic Temple did not phone in the threat. They did not put kids in danger, and they only launched their club in response to a Christian club at the school. And what happened is after the district reviewed the situation, the superintendent said she had rescinded approval. I'm going to show you this here. She had rescinded approval for the Satanic Club. Look at this. As a result of this violation, the educational programming and activities of the district has been significantly impacted, and it has caused unequivocal disruption to our district's daily operations. Right, we get it. It was bad. Our community has experienced chaos. Our students, staff, and teachers have had to endure a threat to their safety and welfare. blah, 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 blah. I don't know where this went. Where did it go? Ah, yes, here we go. And at the beginning of this article, an extracurricular club calling itself the Satanic Temple has been barred from using school district facilities. That's the part that blew my mind. After all this chaos, the school district punished the Satanic Temple for the threat that had nothing to do with the Satanic Temple. They were being punished for what some dude did. And now, the unintended consequence of all this is that the district basically had written up a blueprint for other, Christian terrorists to follow anytime there was an atheist or satanic club meeting at a local school. All you have to do is secretly phone in a threat, mention the non-Christian group in your voicemail, because that's what that anonymous caller did. He said, I'm going to do something because the Satanic Temple is being there. And if you do that, you can just watch the chaos unfold. Like, that's a horrible precedent to set because the school district is punishing the Satanists, which is what that caller wanted. The school district could have said, we are working with law enforcement to ensure the safety of everybody in our schools. Extra security will be provided whenever students meet after school, certainly for the After School Satan Club. But this district said, nope, none of that. We're just going to punish the Satanists and hope this all goes away. So even though the Satanic Temple was like, you can't do that, this is a horrible idea, and even though the ACLU said the same thing, the district did not budge. So what happened? The Satanic Temple filed a lawsuit against the Saucon Valley School District. And they basically said the school district's refusal to grant the Satanists equal access to school facilities give a heckler's veto to those who dislike the group's religious viewpoint. And one of the other things, like, I'm going to skip over some details because they also claimed, the school district claimed, the Satanists didn't follow our policies. But every time they mentioned what the Satanists didn't do, there was always a logical reason for it. So I'm going to skip over that stuff. And I should also tell you, the dude who made the phone call, they eventually caught him. He was arrested. And the lawsuit even pointed out there's no evidence that this guy might have refrained from his criminal actions if only the Satanic Temple had done things differently. Like, the dude just wanted to stop them from meeting. But the school district wouldn't budge, so there was a lawsuit. And the bottom line is that back in March, like a month after all this happened, there was a federal judge who said the district has to allow the Satanists to meet at the location this school year. Like, you cannot block them from meeting. They followed all the rules. The judge said you have to allow it. The judge even said, when confronted with a challenge to free speech, the government's first instinct must be to forward expression rather than quash it, particularly when the content is controversial or inconvenient. So that's interesting. He said the district had no right to ban the Satanists from meeting, and that suppressing the Satanic Temple was not constitutionally permissible. So that was the ruling that happened a few months ago. And the reason I bring all this up is there is an update on that case, and it's glorious. And it's that they finally figured out how to settle this case, and the school district has now said, we'll settle the case. We will not admit any wrongdoing, but we're going to give $200,000 to the Satanists for their legal bills, to pay the legal bills. They've decided they don't want to appeal this. They don't want to keep fighting it. They know they're in the wrong. And to end things for good, they gave, I think, $1 in damages to the Satanists, literally $1. But the school's insurance provider will pay $200,000 to the attorneys involved on the Satanist side. And the only consolation for the district, I guess, is that they don't have to admit wrongdoing, but they do have to admit there was a constitutional injury resulting from the district's decision. I don't quite grasp the distinction there. One thing I would also point out that I found interesting is that in addition to all of this, this whole controversy became an issue in the school board elections this year that they already had because community members were so angry that the school board was fighting this case because it was a lost cause. Voters seem to be thinking this is about free speech, equal access. The Satanists didn't do anything wrong. Why is the school board trying to block them from meeting? Why are you allowing the ACLU to sue you when you're in the wrong? And in fact, 4 school board members, incumbents, lost their seats. They were voted out. This wasn't the only reason, but this was part of the reason people wanted to unseat them. And that's a big deal. Lucian Greaves, who's the Satanic Temple's co-founder, he told me, perhaps it is time to stop wasteful public crusades that seek to unconstitutionally limit our civil liberties, and also to respect the choices of non-Christian parents too. So again, I think he's right. Officials in this district were warned how this would play out. They chose to listen to the wrong people, and now they're going to pay the price. Like, I know their insurance provider is paying out the $200,000, but their insurance premiums are probably going to go up. So that's good. That's the way this should have ended, but it shouldn't have taken this long.